I wanted to show you a game I've been developing. This game is, I will be placing it under the link under the video description. I deployed it with Vercel. That's why it ends with vercel.app. I didn't buy this domain. It's actually given to me by Vercel. And I pay $0 for maintaining this site and $0 for deploying it. So Vercel is actually a great option for, indie developers and people who want to deploy several websites for free, and as long as it doesn't take too much memory, But yeah, without further ado, let's get started. This game has game levels, and also depth levels. I'll talk about the game levels first. Level 1 is alone in a world full of penguins. And the subtitle tells you if a penguin falls, does it screech make a sound? It's food for thought. It's just let it marinate there for a minute, right? And we have these power-ups also. The first one is ghosting mode, which makes you invulnerable to obstacles and monsters, but it still allows you to step into its penguins. It's actually based on a true story. Ghosting mode, you become the ghoster, right? Okay. And then there's also we have another power-up which gives you wings, right? And of course, these exit portals, these rectangles you see, it allows you to zoom out and zoom in into the fractal. The fractal is the floor, actually. It's the Sierpinski carpet. So if we zoom out, we are actually back in the root depth of the game. We are as far as we can get, right? And the utility for that feature is basically because we need to find a key to unlock the castle for each level. So how do we find the key? Well, we have this penguin which gives us clues. Right now the penguin is telling us on the caption, descend deeper, the relic lies within. That means that the key is deeper than at the root depth. So that's why I killed myself, because the memory is retained within the browser instance. So now I need to go one, at least let's try the first depth level 1. And you can if you get like a little lost, you can know where you are in depth. If you look at the bottom left corner, you'll see a blue pixel that tells you the depth level. Right now we are at depth level 1, so there's only 1 pixel. Now we go back to the penguin, and the penguin now tells us that we have to descend even deeper. So those are clues, right? So I'll just go 2 levels deeper now in level 1. So this is the first depth. You notice that we became more pixelated, right? And now if I go to the second depth, I go from pixelated to stick figure. Okay. So we just become smaller and more fragmented as we surf through lower depths. Right. And we have to find the penguin again. And now the penguin tells us, on the caption you can read, within this realm doth rest, the key doth rest, seek and claim it. Right. So now that's the key that you see there. That glowing yellow orb, that's the key or the relic to unlock the castle. Right. So once we grab it, now we can go to the next level after we find the castle. It's the fractal castle. However, there is only one castle in the full system. As you are aware, or as I've been telling you, we are going deeper into the fractal. Right now we are at depth level 2. So depth level 2 is actually, it's like, you becoming really tiny, and you're not in reality yet, right? So if we go farther and we find a castle, that castle will not be the real one. It will be a decoy. It will be a tiny castle within the full game that doesn't allow us to go to the next level. So this castle, in other words, is a decoy. If we keep going, it doesn't allow us to go to the next game. But what's fun about this is that I made this full game so that it can have periodic repetition. So, if we go beyond the castle, we'll start where we began again, and we see these rectangles that allow us to go to different levels of depth. So here we're gonna zoom out 1 depth level. Now we're gonna zoom out again, another depth level. And now we are at the root depth level, so we do not see we cannot see the exit rectangles no more, right? And so what do we do now if we have to go, now if we get close to the penguin, it doesn't tell us anything because we already obtained the key, the yellow orb, right? And now because right now we are at the right resolution, we are at the depth, the root depth, now we can go to the castle will be the real one, we can lock it and move on to the next game level. And I guess we can take a short time to appreciate that black hole that I made. That black hole, actually it's accurate in some ways. You know, they say that the consensus right now, I believe, in terms of black holes and information, it is that the information is not encoded, it's not compressed to the interior. The information is actually, that is violently compressed, of course. It is encoded in the surface of the black hole. That's actually the most recent state-of-the-art consensus so far. And it talks a little bit about that. You can find holographic theory, I think, talks a little bit about that. And this is not conspiracy stuff. This is actually what is out there on the literature, right? What is out there is that the information is actually compressed in the at the surface of the black hole, which many of you would call it, like, I guess, event horizon, right? And that's actually what kind of like makes a good parallel to the representation you see here. You see penguins being endlessly sucked into the black hole, but never really getting there, right? That's the illusion that I was trying to make, I guess. So yeah, so this is our real castle, like I mentioned. And so because we are at root depth level, when we get closer to it, it will allow us to go to the next level, which will be the bunny level. Level 2, what's your bunny count? It's just a number, man. Right. And you can see, I said it's just a number because I actually placed the bunny count there on the top left corner, right? And that bunny count also never resets. So if you kill a bunny, or sorry, stomp on a bunny, right? They're not real bunnies, okay? It will update. You see the bunny count now goes to 1, right? Now to 2. And now we can just keep playing, right? And the rules remain the same, right? We have now this new power-up, which is called Frogman mode, which makes you go faster, right? But yeah, the principles are the same. The idea is always like, you have to like find the key in the level, consult the penguin wizard, and the penguin wizard tells me that to descend deeper, as it usually does. What's your bunny count? Okay, so we can descend deeper. We can descend 1 depth level deeper. We can descend 2 depth level deeper, and if we've gone too far, for instance, the penguin wizard is at every depth level, so it will tell us you've gone too far, man. Right. So here, let's see. Yeah, it actually is telling us that right now. You can read the caption. It says, "Thou hast delved too far. Ascend toward clarity." So that means we have to it's not at the deepest level, obviously. So we can discard that one now. So it's probably it's not at the deepest, right? So it could be at this one, but not at the deepest. So we need to look. Yeah. So now it's telling us, the penguin wizard is telling us that it's the key is also at depth level 1 for this level. Right. We just need to keep going until we find the glowing yellow orb, which is the key to the castle. And now we can just keep going until we find the castle, and then that's actually the decoy castle, right? It could then for the pattern to repeat again, or we can just die like I did, and it takes us to the root depth, right? And because all the memory of possession of the keys are retained, and we don't need to look for the key again, we already have it in memory. And so yeah, so that's basically the gist of the game. Right, so we see that if I get hover close to the penguin, it doesn't tell me anything because it knows that I already have the key. Okay, and yeah, my bunny count is still at a healthy number 3, right? And of course, we have that black hole. So give you some perspective, making games like this is not, it's doable. I would be lying if I told you that it's easy, but it is not very hard either, right? As long as you can have like abstract components in a relatively logical and simple way, that will basically do a lot for you. Like for instance, that black hole you see there I isolated it to a single component. The floor, the centerpiece floor, and the obstacles, that's another rendering component. They're both like, I store them in a folder called I think rendering or world or something like that. But the logic of the game, right? All the rules, all this stuff, it lies on other folders. It lies on simulation folder, I think. And so that's how you can, you should in my opinion, you should always like try to abstract from I guess coding like that, because in the way it actually leads the way for more automation. Like right now, for instance, I only have 2 levels, and I could easily hard code level 3 and everything else, right? But it's probably not very productive in the end. I can actually, if I, given the way that I've been abstracting the logic, I could actually automate the rendering of enemies even procedurally, right? I could, for instance, like make 4 more different enemy sprites and just like change their features, make them maybe as levels progress, I make them faster or more resistant to attacks or things like that, right? So yeah, this is why abstraction is so great, and modularization, of course, right? With that, but yeah, and of course, there's no monsters beyond level 2 right now. I'll probably be doing that, the automation of levels, a little bit later. But yes, when I have the time. And anyways, I think this is probably a good place to like stop again, or stop the video, sorry. And if you have any suggestions on how to make, maybe you can give me some suggestions to make this game even more ridiculous. I'll be more than happy to hear you out. You can like drop a comment under the video. Have any questions, and I have enough time, I'll be happy to answer them as well. But yeah, that will be it. If you really like the format or like this kind of videos, let me know. With a thumbs up and or a comment, I would greatly appreciate that. And once again, thank you for watching my video. All right.